everyone, it's Kim Musial here, and today I am not doing a weight loss challenge like the Lily Sabri or Chloe Ting. Today I'm actually here to talk about nutrition. And why are we talking about nutrition? Because typically it's 80% of what helps you actually lose weight and 20% exercise. And also, I actually hurt my back and I was not able to do any workouts. And so I had to really focus and drill down on nutrition. So I found the perfect gym for us, for me and my husband, and they helped us with a nutrition program, which was kind of unheard of for a gym to do so. My husband obviously did some workouts, whereas I did not. My goal was to always do 5,000 steps a day. But since I had to really focus on nutrition and I had gotten so lazy, very unhealthy eating habits, since I had not been able to work out since practically January, except I did try some Lily Sabri and Chloe Ting challenges. However, after that, June 1st is when I hurt my back, and it is now October 18th. So I started my challenge on, I think we started right after Labor Day. So I was at a whopping 181 pounds, and it has been 5 weeks, and I am now sitting at 166. I'm very happy with it. I have been steadily dropping 2 pounds every week, and I'm here to tell you how. The first step is 2 weeks. Now, 2 weeks, that's all you have to do. If you want to lose weight, if you're just doing nutrition alone, you just need 2 weeks of a really hardcore eating habit. And that is the low carb boot camp. Now, low carb boot camp means no carbs, no dairy. You can eat protein, veggies, and healthy fats. Now that really seems like the keto diet. So if you know what the keto diet is, basically follow that. However, you cannot have bacon or cheese or lots of butter like the keto. So it's not keto, but it's just 2 weeks, 14 days. Now by the third day, I thought I was gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is horrible. It's just 14 days. You can do it. I did it. You can do it. After I got past the third day, and honestly, what saved me the third day is Ghost Protein, Chips Ahoy. Oh my gosh, I got that little tiny bit of chocolate and I was very happy. Low carb, no dairy, no carbs. You can eat the healthy proteins, which is your chickens, your eggs, and you can eat them whole. You can eat we want the yolk, we want the whites, we want fish, ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey, protein powders. That's what saved me. Any steaks, any turkeys, turkey bacon is fine, but we don't want the lower quality proteins such as the bacon, the deli meats, sausage, ham, dried meats. So even the beef jerky is a no-no. Fried chicken wings, hot dogs, those kind of things. So that's not what we're eating this first 14 days. Veggies, all of them. Eat a lot of them. I was not I was not big into veggies, and having to think about eating so many veggies and just meat to fill me up was not, I felt like I was going to fail this diet, but it's just 14 days. I really had to get through, and I found that hummus actually really helped me get all those veggies down. So I was eating carrots and hummus for breakfast, which sounds crazy, but it started to end up being like the best thing. And I would eat celery and hummus, carrots and hummus, and that would be my snacky type breakfast. And I don't have breakfast in the mornings, so I was drinking just my energy drinks. If you look back at my energy drink videos, I was drinking like the Ghost energy drinks at the time. And I would drink that, and I would go to work, and I would be hungry. And that's when I started bringing a little snack bag of carrots or celery and hummus. And I'd have that around my 10 o'clock snack time, which was my breakfast. And then at lunch, I would have my chicken and broccoli. I think is what I stuck to. And I started getting to do like chicken and bell peppers, which I wasn't a fan of bell peppers prior to the diet. Now I'm obsessed with them. I still can't eat them raw though. They have to be cooked and they're with my chicken. And I started adding even more vegetables, like cauliflower rice, because I was getting hungry by 3 o'clock and it was a big struggle. And then dinner was fine. I got through that 14 days. That is it. And then what do you get to do after 14 days? Well, wait, let's go back. Let's go back to the low carb. You can still have all your healthy fats, such as avocados and all your avocado, coconut oil, no vegetable oil. Obviously, that's a really bad one. And you get your healthy fats from flaxseed, fatty fish, and fatty red meats. So you want to avoid any type of trans fats at this time, like margarine and baked goods and that kind of stuff. So none of that stuff for 14 days. Now, after the 14 days, you can go on to adding a little bit more to your diet. And this actually really helps because then you'll know you have been restricting for 14 days all the processed foods, dairies and cheeses and fruits, and you're going to know the second you eat something on day 15 that it's not going to go with you. If you take a drink of milk and you realize that your stomach is cramping or bloating, you know that that's now a food that you have never liked, but that your body has never agreed with, and you now know to not eat that anymore. 14 days, no carbs. After the 14 days, you can start getting onto dairy, but the dairy is more restricted to Greek yogurt and high quality cheese. So not Kraft Singles American cheeses. We're not doing that. We're getting that block, really high dollar type cheese that it just says on the back, basically like cheese. And not, if you can't rate a bunch of ingredients, then that's the processed cheese. So that's not the cheese that we're adding back in this next 14 days. You're also allowed to have every berry known to man. So we're going to add strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, any kind of berries, we are adding them. We are also adding, you can add oranges, tangerines, lemons, limes, those types of things, and some nuts. Now, we cannot add peanuts, although we did. We needed a peanut butter. My husband is a spoonful a day type peanut butter person, and I was really starting to enjoy that in my yogurt as my dessert. So we actually did introduce peanuts, and you saw that if you go watch my healthy Reese peanut butter cup, we ended up getting just peanuts, and it tasted so weird at first, but then it started becoming my go-to. Like, I was craving it every day. Oh, cravings. That's what I need to talk about. Why would you do this to yourself for 14 days, this no carb restrictive thing? Your hormones are crazy because you've been eating a lot of sugars and a lot of processed foods. Your hormone line goes up and it goes down and it goes up and it goes down. And so you're craving, you eat a piece of cake and you're real high level sugar and you come crashing way down. So let's say our line's here and our cake just brought us way up here. And now we're going to come way crashing down under, which means we're going to be hungry and we're going to want something heavy and big again. And so let's say we go for pizza, we go all the way up. And so it's just a vicious cycle. And so what that 14 days of the no carb and restrictive eating, it gets your hormones just to kind of level out just a little bit. We want a little up, a little down, a little up, not this crazy spikes. And that takes away your cravings. That whole 14 days, I was like, I cannot wait for cheese. I was obsessed with having ice cream. I wanted my cheese and jellies and cracker. I was into charcuterie boards big time. And so I really wanted that back. And so I just was like, 14 days, I can do this and I can have cheese again because I need it. And then the 14 days came around and I got to add my yogurt and I got to add some berries, and the strawberries were like this big flavorful pop in your mouth that it just was all I needed. And I felt extremely satisfied and happy that I had my yogurt, my berries, and my peanut butter as a snack
after dinner or anytime I just felt hungry. That could have been my go-to lunch for the day. I still was craving ice cream though. You don't go for milk type dairies in this 14 days. You go for the high quality cheeses. And honestly, I didn't even touch a high quality cheese until maybe the 20th day with a cheeseburger. I had cheese the whole time, but thinking that I couldn't have the cheese with the jelly just made me say I don't want it anyway. But I was happy with what I was eating for the next 14 days. But I knew at the end of the 28 days, so 0 to 14, we have no carbs. Our 14 through 28 days, we are only allowed to have yogurt and berries. And that's what we've added. Now, you could add almond flour if you were desperate to bake something, which I did bake something. I made banana bread because I thought we were going to be allowed to have bananas, which you are not allowed to have bananas. Because it's really high in sugar during that 14 through 28 day period. And I already bought them thinking I needed them, which oddly enough, I took a half a banana to that very 15th day and my body hated it. I love bananas, but bananas apparently do not agree with me, and restricting them from my body for 14 days really showed me that. I did have a bunch of bananas and I was like, well, I guess I'll make I had almond flour and I made banana bread. It was okay. And I ate it and I didn't feel too terrible with that, but I also didn't eat very much, probably like 1 or 2 slices before it rotted. You're not adding much to it. You're still having your protein, your veggies, your healthy fats, your berries, nuts, seeds, citrus fruits, and Greek yogurt. That is all you're having from 14 to 28 days. And honestly, I was happy with the 14 to 28 day period that I haven't really ventured out too much from that. And then after 28 days, your hormone cycles have now leveled out to where you're not craving anything and you can add carbs, healthy carbs. You want that balanced plate. Protein, veggies, and your energy, which is your carbs, and where you got your fat and your carbs in a swinging pendulum. I honestly wish that everybody lived right next to Joe because he has helped us understand food so much more than we've ever learned. And we thought we knew quite a bit. But Joe at CSH Fitness has been phenomenal for us. And anyway, let's get back to, I will explain for him, for those of you that are not near our area. But if you are near my area and you can know of CSH Fitness and you'll know where to Google it if it's around you, please come. Anyway, so this is what's interesting about the swinging pendulum is you can have carbs, but you don't want to overload your pendulum of carbs and fats. I'll get to that in a minute because I do want to tell you what carbs you're allowed to have for your perfect plate. And you still got to know that your protein, there is the lower quality proteins, which is still the deli meat, the hot dogs, the beef jerky, the fried chicken wings. Those are still low quality, and you have to add those into your healthy plate in a good way. Because you're allowed to have a couple cheat meals at this time. And that's meals, not days, not cheat days. That's where you're really into trouble. So you can only have about 3 to 4 cheats a week if you are doing a perfect 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. That's where you stay in a good range to keep losing weight or to maintain your weight. So you can still have all your veggies, all the fats that we had been doing. You still avoid the trans fats, the frozen foods, and the processed foods that you really don't want at this time. But you get to add this list of healthy carbs. And obviously he can't list every healthy carb. He just has some. But all your rices, jasmine rice, basmati rice, wild rice, brown rice, white rice, it doesn't matter as long as it's not bleached rice. You know, that's a processed rice. You don't want that. And you'll have your breads. You can add your flax bread, oat bread, whole wheat, sourdoughs, any of those. And you can add oatmeal, but you want the rolled oats. You don't want those like instant oats, which I know are really good, but you can make that yourself with your own, just a little cinnamon and berries, and try to pop it up to make it something that you like. And you can also have beans and quinoa, all your other fruits back. Now this is where you can add bananas. You can't have the apples, bananas, and the most of fruit that anybody can have. So we're just staying away from those refined sugars and grains that would spike up your glucose.
So let's go back to the healthy plate as Joe explains this. I should bring him on and he can explain this all to you guys as well. However, the swinging pendulum, let's get to that. So what he says is when you're eating out, that restaurants typically inject your chicken with fats to make it taste better, not healthier. To make it taste better. And so when you're eating out, you would want to avoid a carb at the restaurant because now you're having more fat from the oils. And so this is where your pendulum goes. You don't want to have too much fat and then an excess of carbs because then you're going way out. So you'll have to, when you're eating out, get your protein, get your veggie, and then just think that, it may not be that your restaurant is adding a bunch of fats and oils to your meats and your salads and everything tastes really good. And why does it taste really good? Because it has fats in it. So you just have to assume that they have fats. And so you would not order a carb at a restaurant. And so your fats would be this whole energy source. And then you'd have your protein and veggies. Now, if you were home and you knew you cooked your chicken in avocado oil or olive oil, you knew you used a healthy fat. And so you had that little leeway that it could be just a little tiny slice on your energy scale. And you can have your portion of rice. So you can have your carbs as long as you know you're cooking them because you know what is in your food. That is how you have a balanced meal. And honestly, the cravings for me have went away. On that day 28, when he was like, you can go cheat and have a cheat meal and have carbs, I went and got ice cream immediately. I went to Jeremiah's. They had come out with these pie flavors that I've never seen before with like the cookie crumbles. And I saw it come in September right when I started the diet. And I was like, oh my God, I hope this isn't a limited edition thing. I want to try, especially everything pumpkin was like in my face. I'm a pumpkin girl. The pumpkin pie spice ice cream thing came out and I was like, I gotta have it. So I got my 28 days in. He said I could go have a cheat meal and I immediately went home. I had eggs and carrots, I think, because I got my protein and I had my vegetable. You always want to pair your protein and vegetable with your cheat carb because it helps slow the digestion. And so I went right and got the ice cream. And honestly, I got a small one because you still want to have like a smaller portion. But halfway through the small one, I was fully satisfied. I felt like I didn't even really need to finish the ice cream, although I paid for it, so I finished it. And I was there by myself. I came home, my husband didn't do the cheat, and I was like, it's good. But honestly, now I think I could have shared a small with you, whereas before I would have sucked down a medium to a large by myself. But I had my craving it was satisfied and I felt great. And still lost 2 pounds that week. And that very week I had the ice cream. I had a roll of sushi on a Friday, so it had some rice in it. And we went out to eat for a Mexican restaurant and it had some rice because it was Mexican. So it had some rice at the bottom of our steak dish. But I don't feel like, because my husband and I shared it, we just feel like we have a smaller stomachs these days that we can share entrees and share in the carbs, and it's not a lot. So that's how we did it. That is how I have came down 16 pounds on nutrition alone. The only other thing is that Joe does have a goal for me to hit 5,000 steps a day, and it is a struggle for real to hit 5,000 steps a day for me. I'm a busy mom. I work. I try so hard to get in my walks every day, and it's just difficult. Do I make it nearly? Yes. I'm in the 4,000 range on an average, but there are some bad days where I travel a lot for work and I'm in the car for 2 to 4 hours on a one-way trip, and there's no way I could do any extra activity, exercise, anything. I'm also, I had joined Beachbody back on June 1st when I had broke my back, and I have been doing Clean Week maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, which is just a 30-minute. I do like the extreme modifiers and when I can. So that's the kind of exercise I've been doing, but it has not been very hardcore, especially because I was also going to decompression therapy. So there was a lot of times that it was maybe 2 or 3 times or none at all that I was doing any exercises. And some of the exercises were just on Saturdays and Sundays, because that's the only time I have to do that. But it was the goal of making the 5,000 steps a day, which I have rarely hit. But I'm still going strong. I'm still losing weight. I'm still eating properly. And that's how we're doing it. And I just felt like everybody should know this because it really does work and it's very balanced. You're not on the keto diet to where you're just stripping yourself of all that delicious foods and carbs, because carbs are good, carbs are healthy, carbs are the energy source to do things. You just have to do them in a balanced way. And so that is the way to achieve a weight loss goal, nutrition only, and to achieve the perfect plate. Now let's talk about the InBody scale. This is what helped me see my results on a weekly basis. On the left, you'll see my results that I had started from September 5th, and then this goes clear till 10/17/21. The bottom has the dates, and my weight and my percentage of body fat is all calculated in the graph there. On the very right side is a mock version of the entire graph and what it gives you. This is something that I found online because mine does have my personal information on it, and I'm not sharing that with the world. So this is Jane Doe's, and it shows you the muscle fat, the obesity analysis. This scale was really, really good. And if you want to read about all of the stuff that it gives you in detail and what it means, go to inbody.com to learn more about the scale and their results that it gives you and about the different types of scales. Now, this scale is roughly in the $6,000 range, so please Google your area to see if a gym or a nutrition place has it in your area because that's pretty expensive. Thanks for watching.